Good morning, everyone. Uh, Today, after a long time, I have come before you all to explain an issue which requires urgent attention of the Karnataka government because this affects roughly 52 lakh people who have the Adi Andhra, Adi Dravida, Adi Karnataka caste certificates in the states and also in the other states. So, this problem of Adi Andhra, Adi Dravida, Adi Karnataka has been lingering on in the subcategorization debate right from the times of Sadashiv Commission. Sadashiv Commission considered this, they applied a formula, then Madhuswami Commission considered this, they applied another formula. But Nagmohan Das Commission, very surprisingly, because I had personally gone and then also represented in front of the Nagmohan Das Commission with a very detailed report on this issue, where the issue was discussed in entirety and the need for even the caste survey. One of the primary reasons why Justice Nagmohan Das considered the need for a caste survey in Karnataka was the identification of left and right groups within the Adi Karnataka, Adi Dravida, Adi Andhra group. So, for many of you who don't understand this, I just want to give a clarification that in Karnataka and in especially the southern part of India, the predominant classification among the scheduled caste is on the basis of left and right scheduled caste. The left scheduled caste are called the Madigas and the allied caste, were involved in very menial occupations like leather, Safai Karmachari, and occupations which are considered to be very polluting. Well, the other section of the scheduled caste, they were also involved in very menial jobs, but they were not involved with the skin of the animal, something like the leather industry and other things. So they were also considered to be polluting, but they were considered less polluting. So they were called the right scheduled caste. So when this debate came up, even in the Supreme Court, in front of the Honorable Chandrachud sir, he also noted that, see, there is a section of the scheduled caste within Dalit communities who have faced more discrimination. Like it's a fact that within the Dalit communities in Karnataka and Tamil Nadu, Andhra, the left scheduled caste experience more discrimination. It's a fact that even the scheduled caste, that is the right scheduled caste, do discriminate against the left scheduled caste. There is no intermarriages which happen among these groups, and because of the nature of the occupation which these groups were involved, these groups were left alone, and then they were the kind of exclusion which they had to face was extremely very high. So because of this led to economic backwardness, educational backwardness, and a great amount of inequality has emerged even among the scheduled caste. So the data which has been published in every report, right from the Usha Mehra Commission, in case of the Andhra Pradesh subcategorization, Ram Raju Commission in the Andhra Pradesh subcategorization commission, and various other commissions, even in the other states, and even in Tamil Nadu, the Janardhan Commission, they point to one single thing, that this group has failed to get a representation in strategic positions, especially in Group A services and in positions like IAS, IPS. So, there is a need for subcategorization, that everybody agrees. But in the southern states, what has happened is that in the 1931, there was a movement. When the 1931 census, there was a movement. Earlier to this census, most of the Dalits in the states, they declared themselves as Olayas, Madigas. But in 1931, as a self-respect movement which emerged in a very big way in the states, all those people who were identified as untouchables, like for example, especially in the Mysore state and then in the Madras state, they were identified based on 10 major questions that these communities were not allowed inside the temples, they were not allowed inside the schools, they were not allowed to go in the roads, they had to maintain a distance, unapproachability, unseeability. So many factors were there. There are almost like 10 major factors which went into this identification, and the Britishers gave them the name, and then also many people identified with a new name called Adi Karnataka, Adi Dravida, Adi Andhra. Now these groups, both left and right, they were the most oppressed classes of the Dalits, identified in 1931, and they have been using this identity till now, including people like me. I belong to the Adi Karnataka clan. So now, if you see here, now the problem has happened in the Nagmohan Das Commission and the subsequent commission, and this is also one reason which we have to retrospect. If you see here, the graph which I have put here, the data points, like the numbers which have been given in various census. In 1961, the Adi Karnataka, Adi Dravida, Adi Andhra, you can see that there were roughly 12.26 lakhs, 3.60 lakhs, and 22,000. And if you go to 2011 census, that is the latest one, roughly around 36 lakh people out of 1.04 crore people belong to these Adi Karnataka groups. They are a massive group. That is roughly, we are talking about 35% of this population. Now, this 35% of this population of the scheduled caste, they own caste certificates as Adi Karnataka, Adi Dravida, Adi Andhra. That is a fact, because see, how do I get a caste certificate? I get a caste certificate basically based on my father's caste. Anybody. So if any scheduled caste is there, he gets a father. He has to produce certain documents in front of the Tahsildar. That is, what is the caste of his father? What is the caste of the student reported in the transfer certificate? And the caste of many relatives and any other details which they have to produce. There is a prescribed act and rule for this, under which the caste certificate has to be given. But now, a different thing started emerging right from 2014. There was a movement all over Karnataka where people were asked to report themselves as the generic name. Like for example, those who have AA, AK, AD, that is Adi Andhra, Adi Karnataka, Adi Dravida, they were asked to report themselves as Madigas, Olayas, etc. So in the census, they come surveys and all they reported. But the fact remains that these people don't have the caste certificate. They still have the caste certificates of AK, AD, AA. And whenever these people go to the relevant Tahsildar, the Tahsildars, they quote the relevant rules and act, and they say that, see, you produce us the document and we will change the caste certificate. So there was a big dilemma in this, because at one end people started declaring themselves as different caste, but at the other end they don't have the caste certificate to get the reservations. So now a major problem was created by Justice Nagmohan Das Commission, where what he did was he gave a column of subcaste in the survey. So there was a caste like AA, AK, AD. Now many estimates say that they have not covered AA, AK, AD, and one of the estimates given by Mr. Bhima Shankar, retired IRS officer, he tells that roughly 40% of AA, AK, AD were never identified by the Nagmohan Das Commission. That's a serious issue, and if you see the population here, that is something to worry about. The Nagmohan Das Commission reported 1.07 crore as the scheduled caste population, compared to Kantaraj Commission, which reported 1.09 crore in 2014. So between 2014 to 2025, we have seen a decrease in the scheduled caste population, which has never happened right from 1951. So the findings of the Nagmohan Das Commission is seriously a big problem is there, because there is undercounting. There is serious undercounting, and many of the studies now tell that almost 30% to 40% of the people were undercounted in the Nagmohan Das Commission, and most of them were the Adi Andhra, Adi Dravida, Adi Karnataka clan. That is the biggest issue here. So now what this Nagmohan Das Commission did is very surprising. When they did the subcategorization, they split it into three groups: Group A, Group B, Group C. And in the final notification of the government, you don't see this Adi Andhra, Adi Dravida, Adi Karnataka at all. So today, as a matter of fact, I can't take reservations in Karnataka. That's a very surprising thing, because I have the Adi Karnataka caste certificate, but I'm not entitled. If a person with the Adi Karnataka caste certificate is there in Karnataka, he cannot take reservation facilities on promotion or any other thing in Karnataka. So now what the government did was, they told that if you want to take a caste certificate, if you want to take some benefits, you convert yourself into others like Mandiga, Hulaya and other things. That was the initial this thing, and you can claim in Group A, Group B, Group A, Group B. Group A was actually given for left scheduled caste, Group B for right scheduled caste, and then Group C for the other categories. Now a major problem has arisen, because now if you want to take other caste certificate as a Valaya or a Madiga, the generic caste name for this group, whether the act and rule enables that. That is the first question I want to discuss. Now, in order to see that, we have to go into the act. So this is the Karnataka Scheduled Caste, Scheduled Tribes and Other Backward Classes Act 1990. So if you see here, this is the overall act which gives you the powers how to get the caste certificate. So let me now show you section 4A. So if you see here, this is section 4A, issue of caste certificate and income caste certificate. So that is, any candidate or his parent or guardian belonging to the scheduled caste or scheduled tribe may, in order to claim benefit of reservation in the section 4, either for appointment to any service or post or for admission to a course of study in university or any education institution, make an application to Tahsildar in such form and in such manner as may be prescribed for issue of caste certificate. So now after this, the Tahsildar may, on receipt on the application satisfying himself, after holding such inquiry as he deems fit, order issuing the caste certificate. So there are various steps which he has to follow. Verification of caste certificate when you get a job, that is also involved in it. So, and in case the Tahsildar can also conduct a detailed inquiry on this. Okay. Now let us see some other thing. See one more. So if you see here, what is the thing which the Tahsildar has to do? That is given in the rules. This is the rules which I am showing, Rule 3A. So if you see, there is some prescribed forms which they have to submit, and then the Tahsildar has to examine school records, birth registration certificate, TCs, relatives caste certificate. Then he has to understand the social status of the applicant. He also has to go into the anthropological, ethnological triad, deity, ritual, custom, mode of marriage, death ceremony, method of burial of dead bodies and such other matters. So the point here is that this caste certificate should not be given mechanically. So there is some application of mind which is required at the end of the Tahsildar, who has to put in a lot of documents to give a caste certificate. So this is there. This is a provision which is there, because otherwise there will be a lot of false, fake caste certificates, and the genuine scheduled castes who are there in Karnataka will not be able to get the relevant benefits which they have to get. And today this false caste certificate, it's a menace. Everybody knows that a lot of false caste certificates which are being taken by a lot of people by quoting any document. Now the problem here is that there is a clear-cut rule which clearly tells that the Tahsildars have to follow this. Now some of them all over Karnataka, now they have started a campaign telling that you give caste certificates of Madigas or Olayas to AA, AK, AD. But what is the problem in this? Where are these documents for the Tahsildars to give? The Tahsildars will check the school record, birth registration certificate, and any other record. But the Tahsildars don't have that record, so they cannot give. The Act and rules does not enable them to give that. So now the government, just by a gazette notification or a circular, cannot come about and tell that you give a caste certificate, because it needs an amendment in the Act and the rule. If the government has to do that, they have to amend this Act and rule. But that will be a problem, and that will get challenged in the court, because that may also enable a lot of issue of false caste certificates, my friends. So that's a serious issue which we are talking about now. So now one more issue is that I have already told that all these AA, AK, AD people already have the caste certificates issued long back. Many of them have that. Now if you see, one more important thing is this section 5A, which has been inserted in the rules. Now any caste certificate, like for example, I got a caste certificate long back, my kids also have. So the caste certificates remain valid until it is cancelled, or until the date on which the candidate changes his religious faith, whichever is earlier. Like for example, if someone changes his caste religion to Christianity, they lose the caste certificate which is issued. So these are the only two conditions which has been placed in the rules and the Act where the caste certificate can be revoked. So the caste certificate issued to Adi Karnataka, Adi Andhra, Adi Dravida people, all are correct, and they are they cannot be revoked. So now what the Karnataka government did in this matter is appreciable. Really, I have to appreciate it, because I know that these are very complex issues, but the Karnataka government has applied its mind, and what they did was, let us not disturb the caste certificate, because Adi Karnataka is a historical basis for determination of caste for more than 52 lakh people in the state. If they disturb it, then there will be a serious issue. So what they did was, they told that they'll issue a new caste certificate with a caste name and then the group, because subcategorization has 3 groups: Group A, Group B, Group C. Group A for the Adi Karnataka, if by a self-affidavit. Like for example, anybody can give an affidavit and then tell that I belong to Group A, Group B, Group C. So that will split the entire thing into different groups. So that is a welcome move. But again, just by an affidavit, if we do that, there is a chance that many people will opt for Group A instead of Group B, because the competition in Group A may be lesser and many people may be attracted to Group A this thing. So what I request is that what the government has done is correct, but they should also notify certain documents which they have to place it, not just the affidavit, for conversion, but for placing them in Group A, Group B, Group C. That is one thing which is very important. The second thing is that now many people also want this generic caste certificate, Madiga, Holea caste certificate. This is Adi Karnataka, Adi Andhra, Adi Dravida. Now, the government should notify certain rules and amend the Act and rule where they can tell that if you produce this document, I'll give you a Madiga certificate. If you produce this document, I'll give you a Holea certificate. Now, so that will solve the problem, and the Tahsildars will give the caste certificate. Now, let us now come to the last issue. Like many Adi Karnataka, Adi Dravida, Adi Andhra people, they also don't even know what is their original generic caste. That is something like maybe like 5 lakh people out of the 5 to 6 lakh people out of the 52 lakh people. Incidentally, in Sadashiv Commission, many people did not know the subcaste. 8 lakh people did not know the subcaste at all among the scheduled caste, because it's a problem, because many people don't want to identify. So there is a matter of concern. And then now when they don't identify, you can't tell that you don't come under Group A and Group B. So those people who don't come under Group A or Group B, please include them in Group C. That's all. Adi Karnataka, if they can't give Olaya Madiga subcaste, so they belong to some other subcaste, put them in Group C. Move them to Group C. That would be a very small number. So by this, what will happen is that you are not eliminating any one single soul in Adi Karnataka, Adi Dravida, Adi Andhra from not getting the reservation benefits in the state. Because see, Adi Andhra, Adi Karnataka, Adi Dravida people get reservation in the central, and there is no problem on that issue, because center has no subcategorization, and this rules does not apply. So one important thing is that please include those people who have Adi Karnataka Group A Madiga in the Group A in your circular order, and then Adi Karnataka Group B Holeya in the Group B subcategorization, and those who don't identify Group A or Group B in Group C. That will solve the problem. It's a very simple issue. Now, but the argument that you need to, this will solve the entire issue. The argument that you have to be given a new caste certificate, Madiga or Holeya, and it is mandatory, that I am completely against it, because see, we cannot expect 52 lakh people going to the Tahsildar's office and then applying for it and then roaming around the Tahsildar's office to get this certificate. This is completely a huge operational delivery issue on the ground. And why should our people go? See, they have been given a certificate and the Act tells that the certificate is valid. So you enable it. Instead of tinkering the caste certificate, what I request the state government is, please give a sub-caste certificate attached with the caste certificate. That will solve. Don't change the caste certificate. Why do you need that? Sub-caste certificate, Karlo ek, or you give a sub-caste certificate of Group B, Group B, Group C. That will solve the problem. Merging both of them will enable you to, because see, why, if you change the caste certificate, there will be a problem, because see, you know that many people want caste certificate like Adi Karnataka Holeya, Adi Karnataka Madiga. That is not a caste which is listed in the 101 caste in the Karnataka district. So these are all the issues. So I have suggested few things in my tweet recently, and I request the government to consider this and do not create a mess with the caste certificate, which is the fundamental basis for getting the reservation benefits. It will lead to a lot of issues for our people, and it's frankly speaking, many of our people don't want to change Adi Karnataka, Adi Dravida caste certificate, because they know that they will not have documents. Tomorrow, when there is a scrutiny of this caste certificate, when you get some benefit, then they'll get into some problems. So they are all worried about this, and I sincerely hope that the government considers our suggestion and then implements this effectively. Namaste. Thank you all.